flies by.
Mm-hmm. And welcome once again to Movie and Stuff Show. My name is Dan, and joining me this week is Marty, who is somehow off center. Oh no, Marty.
Oh, let me.
There you are. Okay.
This.
Yeah.
You always want this. Ah, look at that. Well,
there you go. You're back.
What was the rest of that on the screen there?
That was the Skype chat. Right. You see how? How did I not catch this? We were just we're just bullshitting before the show. And it's like, how did I not pay attention that you were off center?
We're talking about your new job as a director of technologies. So.
Oh my God! Yeah, those fools! I fooled them.
Your great technical background.
I've fooled them. They have no idea.
We no longer can do a fourth show anymore because we just can't figure out the technology.
Listen, man. I'm so used to having 3 people on. It was formatted to have 3 people.
Even 2 is now
two's a problem. 1's a problem. Everything's a problem. We can't even do a weekly show at this point. We are now we're pretty much like every other week.
We were doing good there for a while. We were just we run into a thing where we were doing all those documentaries in a row.
Yeah.
And then we were having some fun doing that. Then the only one we had to talk about was an abortion one on Netflix, and we just got too depressed to talk about it, I believe.
I don't know who's in the chat, but Jeremy Udis, chainsaw fight. Yes, we will get there. We will get there.
And the problem is, just like this show, the movie took way too long to get there.
No.
Oh, God.
No, stop it.
Oh.
Martin.
This was just 2 movies, apparently.
What? This was one awesome movie.
Oh, man. Okay.
The floor is yours. You're wrong. You are wrong. You are completely wrong, but the floor is yours.
I got bored. I got to tell you. It's very slow moving in the first hour or so of this movie.
It's a 2-hour movie.
And the first hour is almost dead silence for most of it.
It's fantastic. Have you never watched a Kubrick movie before, Marty?
Well, yes, but that has, that's of a more talented person.
What? I listen. I mean, it's hard to compare Kubrick against, but this director, dude, I think he nailed it. I think this movie is fantastic. I think it looks beautifully. It's just like he did Beyond the Black Rainbow, which I haven't seen, but I've heard great things about.
Panos Cosmatos.
Yeah. I didn't want to try to pronounce it.
Right.
Panos
Cosmatos.
Panos Cosmatos, I think it is.
There you go.
Like I listen, man. I thought this was a fantastic movie. I thought it looked great. And yes, there's a chainsaw fight, and it's glorious. It's a glorious chainsaw fight. It's really cool.
It's very gory at the end and very
trippy,
kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie with you that it was almost like 2 films, right? Because the first part is the more psychedelic kind of, mind f, if you will, right? Of him, dealing with this cult. Are they demons? Are they just drugged out? There's a lot of subtext to things that I don't understand. There's a lot of mythology in here that's way above my head, way above my pay grade, that I'm not even going to try to research. I started reading some articles and some explanations of some of the stuff that's in here, and I'm like, man, this dude just jammed a whole bunch of stuff in, and I had no idea. Basic plot of the movie is there's this logger, right? And he's like not a logger, like a tree cutter,
modern day logger, but not with no real backstory to it, no real
who cares?
What he was.
Who cares? So here he is,
and they only show him logging for the first 30 seconds of the intro.
But he's happy. He's happy. He lives with his woman Mandy. They're kind of isolated from the world.
It's 1983
Yeah, yeah.
America. Yeah.
Um, they're happy. And you know what? One of the things I appreciated, and maybe you disagree, but I was talking to Aaron after the, like even during the movie, I was like, I think they had genuine conversations. Like listening
Really?
I do.
The whole laying in bed talking about what was their favorite planet. That didn't make you chuckle so much.
I honestly, I could see,
Oh, I think
me and my wife having a conversation like that.
you and your wife have deeper conversations than mine. Me and mine.
Of course, the unrealistic answer would have been Uranus.
Uranus,
You know.
come on, boom.
And the director's father directed Cobra. Fantastic. Fantastic. Awesome. No, man. No, I like them. I like them as a couple. I like that slow build. I liked everything leading up to the fact that this cult kind of comes across Mandy, and this cult leader, wants Mandy, and tries to seduce her, and she just laughs at him. Drugged her.
Laughs at him or laughs at it?
Well,
Because I think
that was Thomas Wayne.
Very different reactions to
Thomas,
just the general.
That was Thomas Wayne from the Batman movies.
Yeah, he's very good. He's in a lot of
good actor.
Known actors, and it's not not the completely nameless Cage movie you see sometimes on the man.
And so here's the spoiler part, right? Just close your ears for a couple minutes while we talk about some spoiler stuff for the rest of the show. In fact,
I mean, Nic Cage didn't go nuts for no reason.
So Mandy ends up getting killed, burned.
Burn. What was the color?
Yeah.
Burn dark because she was a whore. Is that what?
Yeah,
yeah.
And so of course that's what drives Nic Cage to the deep end, and he goes after these demons and everyone that's part of the cult. And then there's a chainsaw fight, and he finally gets the cult leader at the end. And I gotta say the closing, the church burning, man.
That's right. My quintessential,
man.
The quintessential Cage scene though, before all the gore and shit, is the bathroom scene. Where he comes back from this horrific experience where they chain him up and stab him and whatnot and make him watch the girl burn, and she burned a little too. By the time she was done burning, he was already could crumble her skull in his hand or something. I was like, all right, I don't think it works that quickly, but whatever. And he's not he seems effective, but not going nuts yet. So he gets back to the house, lays down for a little while, gets into the bathroom. He keeps his vodka in the bathroom for some reason.
Well, it's leaving Las Vegas Cage, I guess, at that point. He
starts chugging and cleaning up his wounds with the vodka and just screaming. It's just while in his drawers the entire time, which was just another topper. So that was like the part of the movie where it kind of wakes you up. It kind of shifts it, because before then it was quiet, moments of just psychedelic shit and then the weird cult-like shit. And this is all right, him screaming and going on, his murder mission now begins.
It was a great murder mission, by the way. I think one.
Well, actually, he gets caught right away.
Well, yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. But honestly, I think this is what Cage needs more of this, because he's known for his wild and insanity. But this was the perfect balance where you can remember he's a good actor.
Oh yeah,
this dude's a good actor. When he's not doing
schlock. That. I mean, we talked about that with Snowden and some of those.
Oh, yeah. Snowden was fantastic. He pulls out this performance every few years where you're just like, oh yeah, this guy's got an Academy Award. Yeah,
when they let him in and just kind of give him something small, he can usually still hit out of the park.
And this was, I think, the perfect balance where it showcased the fact that this dude can act, and it gave us the quintessential crazy Cage, I'm your god now. Yes. Yes, Nic Cage, you are. Killed it, man.
And then, he has to go kill the Gimps first, which were freakish. When you first see them, did you think we were dealing with something extra? I mean, they were alien looking at first, and then coming out of the woods on their bikes.
Again, reading some stuff into it, when the guy blows the whistle, it's supposed to be the assumption is it's called the Horn of Abraxas, and it's summoning these demons. And that, I'd read a little bit about the movie beforehand, and so they're described as demons, but they're more or less just on these crazy psychedelic drugs. You know,
It's
um,
yeah, there was that green tube or whatever the fuck that they guzzle down, and then Nic Cage put like a finger in it to lick it, and like completely freaked out.
yeah, there's a lot of drug stuff in here, and then it's funny. Bill Duke has a great
Oh yeah,
hashtag Synergy.
I tweeted that out the other day. Yeah,
Yeah,
your interview
yeah,
and review of Predator, which also is fitting now because
because
of
the Predator movie
the
that came
Predator
out.
piece of shit that came out last weekend.
Yeah, poor Shane Black.
Did all right, but apparently
Uh,
everyone's seen it awful. No,
so-
and didn't even do. I mean, it finished #1, but didn't do like anything special.
yeah.
Mhm.
But Bill Duke has a nice little cameo in it. It was surprising though because Bill Duke's a very religious guy. He does
Yeah.
a lot with the church and you know, I don't know if he's a minister or if yeah, but he's just a very religious guy. So to see him cameo in a movie like this, which is,
Do you think Bill Duke really knew what the rest of the movie was about? He just shows up for his scene.
listen, I'm guessing he just showed up for his scene. I'm
He looked a
assuming so.
little gaunt.
He did.
to
He
me.
lost a lot of weight. He's
Yeah,
definitely lost a lot of weight.
it's not a sickness thing.
No, I don't think so. I think he's just, lost a lot of weight.
But you
Probably
know,
eating
like
healthier. Maybe he's on the keto diet.
keto.
Yeah, the keto
Keto.
Kalen.
But you kind of get the idea that maybe they're old war buddy. You know, somehow they knew each other in their,
Mm-hmm.
in the past,
Right.
and he has weapons for him and stuff. So it's kind of that, old war buddy kind of, something.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
There's the vibe.
And he has like a little Iron Man scene in there. Did you catch that? Where he's building that weird axe handle sword.
love
What
it.
the fuck he did?
That's awesome. That's really cool.
But he's like in his room, just kind of clanging away on shit.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe listen. I think it was Amanda. And by the way, why could we not get another person on the show this week? How could that not happen? How did no one want to talk about this?
Our first, I thought we wanted to get Abe at first.
We wanted to get Abe, but Abe's working tonight, so he couldn't do it. And then I tried to get Talia, and she just said that she couldn't make it this week. So she just said it in the chat. But she'd like to be on the show again, so we'll get her on again. I thought Amanda or Jamil would want to do this. So I didn't actually message them.
Well, that's part of the
But
problem.
we were tweeting about it. I was assuming that one of them was like, "Hey, can I do this? Can I do the show?"
I think they've
feel
become
bad
so
asking.
famous. They got
They
so
have their own
famous with
show.
their comic book show now. They're like, oh, those guys.
Listen, they don't have to do my
No.
they don't have to do the show anymore. Like they don't have to humor me.
They become.
And
Extra-
every time I message Amanda, she's like, I guess so. It's like I guess I have no excuses. Not
I think
that,
I think that's her like
Jesus,
default.
wow, man.
Can't be too needy. You know,
That's it's brutal. She's savage. Jeez. She's
Jamil's always up for anything.
Jamil will do anything. Yeah. Listen, he should have been on this one. But
if we decide to drag our asses out to Venom, maybe we'll.
oh God, when's that come out?
It's 2 weeks, I think.
Really?
A lot of good movies coming out in October, actually. That's not one of them, but.
What else is coming out?
The First Man, the Neil Armstrong movie's coming out in 3 weeks.
I can't see that. There's no flag.
You got that, A Star Is Born, which is everyone's saying is great.
Is that the Lady Gaga?
Yeah,
one?
Bradley Cooper directing.
Cooper. Oh, he directs it too.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
interesting.
Hmm.
Dave Chappelle in it says really good.
Hmm.
So yeah, the Oscar season's starting pretty early.
Interesting.
I'm not sure Mandy will get many nominations, but
I don't
if
know.
they add
listen.
they keep talking about adding new categories. If they add like best Nic Cage on demand, I think.
This is the type of movie that flies under the radar that could get some buzz in visual effects for sure, or cinematography, like the score, the film score.
Yeah, very. I was
Excellent,
reading some things
Excellent.
very heavy metal influenced.
Yeah. So I mean, you never know. This could probably get a couple Oscar noms. I mean, probably not Nic Cage, but you listen. It has a chance to probably get a couple nominations for a couple categories. It's not, I don't think it's. The problem is like independent films that get nominated for Best Picture aren't really independent films, right? They're just like studio.
Yeah, they're
B films.
The independent section of the Sony,
Exactly, right. So true independent films rarely get
No, they have to be international or something on that level.
even like it's. I mean, I can't put Paul Thomas Anderson even
No.
as a independent filmmaker anymore. He's still got huge studio backing. So all of his films, they all get nominated pretty much,
Yeah.
right? And but they're huge budgets. Like this thing didn't, upon us. It took 8 years between movies. I think Beyond the Black Rainbow came out in 2010.
Double check.
I think it's about the time that you started your job and I bailed on it. It was right around that time that Beyond the Black Rainbow came out.
2010. Yep.
See that? I remember as if it was yesterday, but it was 8 years ago.
He also worked in the camera and electrical department for Tombstone.
I did see that. Good movie, by the way. Tombstone.
Very good movie, actually.
But listen, I was hoping to watch this movie at least one more time before doing the show, because there's just a lot going on, and there's a lot of subtext, and there's just a lot of things that it's to me like it's a rewatchable movie. I want to watch it again. I know someone who's watched it 5 times already.
Nick?
Yeah.
not from the new show, Nick. The old show, Nick.
Yeah, the old show, Nick. My old co-host. Yeah, my old co-host. He's watched it 5 times.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm assuming not through normal
legal channels. No.
Yeah,
no.
They give you that 48 hour.
40 hours. I tried to watch it twice.
If you go straight through, I guess you can.
Yeah, right. Just watch it back to back to back to back.
How did you get? You got yours on
VOD?
iTunes,
No, I got mine right on Verizon. Verizon VOD.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went through Amazon. I think it kind of fucked up the picture a little bit. I don't know. Because Amazon tries to do 4D stuff sometimes.
No, this look good right from the Verizon VOD. That's always my first default.
Yeah. I try not to add to the cable bill with shit like that, so I go to the either Google Play or my.
Fair point. Fair point. Yeah,
it's all my money for one.
And it's the same money, but it's just like I can't get my cable bill's too high as it is. The funny thing is, like, I have my my iTunes account like attached to like some rando email account that I don't even use anymore. I pretty much use it for fantasy sports. It's my only and then iTunes. So it's just so funny to like use this rando email account for iTunes, and it's just like, what? Where the hell's this invoice going? I know I bought something. It's like, oh yeah, it's let me go log into fantasy sports, and then I can check my iTunes invoice.
Once a year, you open your email to $100, $100 bill.
Whoa, what happened here? Speaking of fantasy sports, I apologize, Marty, for having to beat you this week.
I had no business being in that game, so.
I mean, the guy I'm playing this week is going to win the league. Do you see his team?
Oh, yeah, well,
it's ridiculous.
That happens every year, though, and then like by week 10, everyone goes to shit.
Martin, like, listen to this team. This is just ridiculous. Mahomes.
Well, see, that's like no one thought to draft him.
Tyreek Hill. Golden Tate. Fair. Saquon Barkley. Christian McCaffrey.
I can see every one of those guys Howard, having all weeks, though.
Justin Tucker and the Jacksonville defense.
O.J. Howard sucks. He had one catch for 75 yards. I think everyone fell down that play.
O.J. Howard is his weak point in his lineup right now. And that's because like I have the only 2 tight ends in the league on my team.
Like guys like Barkley and Hill, for every time they go off for 200, they can have a 2 for fucking 15 game.
I hope that's this week. The dude's supposed to beat me by like 20 points.
Someone's going to catch up to Mahomes eventually. I mean, he can't keep on this fucking pace.
Yeah, well, Fitzpatrick too. Just saying.
Oh, I mean, I've seen this. We've seen this movie.
It's great. It's great.
Fitzpatrick always does 3 or 4 games and somehow gets himself $10 million the next season to suck, and then somehow tricks another team into doing it.
Did you see him dress up like in Deshaun Jackson's outfit?
Yeah,
he looked like Conor McGregor.
Yeah. Man's from Harvard.
Man. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Mandy. Listen. I don't disagree with you that in many ways it's 2 films. It's this slow building.
It's like 3 or so because they kind of break it up into those.
Oh, those chapters.
Chapters or something. It's kind of a little confusing if you don't know what the title of the movie is going in because they have the first one real quick. It's like, oh, I thought this was Mandy. and then it was something else.
Mandy doesn't
And
come
then
until like an hour into the movie.
yeah, the third,
Yeah,
I think the third act was
one,
called
third act,
Mandy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But but if you split it into the two movies, you have this very slow building psychedelic art house kind of film, and then the second kind of turns into more of a grindhouse, right? It turns into this revenge flick, very violent, very gory, B movie ish quality of blood and special effects. I'm not quite B, like I'd say like B plus.
But the way they die is kind of silly.
Yeah, the way that
cut
the
one
die
guy's
is
throat and like gushing out onto him.
Yeah, but that's very like 70s or 80s filmmaking right there, man. Like think about that. Like you watch like like RoboCop or something like that, and like that's that's kind of things that they were doing, and we loved it when we were younger. You can't just shit on it now just because we have better special effects. Like I enjoy that.
But then he kills the last guy by crushing his skull, and Nic Cage is strapping man in his own right, but he's not crushing skull like he's not the Hound or the fucking Mountain from Game of Thrones. He's not crushing someone's skull with just his hands. And completely, not even like, oh, my skull cracked and now my braid's full on just molding face into mush type shit. That's like, by that point I was like, all right, let's go home.
Yeah, listen, I figure when I saw it, I was like, yeah, Marty's probably not going to really be too into this.
I made the mistake. I started watching it at like 11 o'clock or something at night. And that first hour, like I said, it's so slow at times and quiet that you just kind of forget what's going on. And then Nic Cage starts screaming. It's like, oh shit, yeah, here we go. So, but like I said, it's I don't know. It's kicking off the horror. We're getting into some horror in October like we usually do, and it's a nice taste. And we always enjoy the Nic Cage show.
Oh, we do. We talked about them. We did. What was it? Mom and Dad, whatever. Yeah. We did that.
Kill the kids.
Not so long ago. It wasn't terrible.
No, it had a silly plot and it went with it. That's all you can expect for some of these VODs.
Yeah, and not quite a chainsaw, but it was kind of had a chainsaw scene in it.
It was very like axe type shit. I think he chopped down a door at some point.
Well, yeah, it was like the saw. It was like the sawzall. The sawzall. Remember?
Oh, God, yes, the
sawzall.
As it killed children.
Oh. Okay. Well, that was Mandy. We also had Emmy Awards, right?
Well, yeah. Some of the shows I think that we have talked about won.
I love Barry.
Barry was the big winner.
I love the fact that Bill Hader and Henry Winkler won. Awesome.
Henry Winkler's first time ever winning an Emmy.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome, man. Well deserved. Listen,
Barry, you can imagine he wasn't going to win one. He wasn't going to win any for fucking, Happy Days, I assume. But
no.
He has been on TV in other roles for the last 30 years.
Yeah. He's got a great cameo, recurring cameo on Arrested Development, but not a big role on that. Listen, man, Barry's a hell of a show. I really enjoyed it. Barry hits on all the same points that Dexter. Like when Dexter was in his prime, Barry hits on all of those same points, and more so, right? I like this character better than Dexter in many ways. I think he's a little bit more fragile, more human.
He winds up in 6 seasons up in Alaska chopping wood.
Well, meeting up with Nic Cage. Listen.
Question. That's the prequel.
Question: would you want to see more of this character of Nic Cage now? Just make a series of these where he's going around,
Well, that's my issue. That was one of my issues with the movie. It kind of feels like a sequel to something because it feels like we're supposed to know about this character, about this cult, about everything that's going on, and we don't really get any kind of backstory. I'm not saying you have to give a full thing, but it would have been nice to know why they're up in the mountains living by themselves, why he knows how to murder people.
That, Marty. People just go with this is jobs. People need jobs, Marty.
Oh, they would clearly have given leaving society type people though. So you have to figure out why did that happen.
Have you seen Society lately, Marty? Have you seen the world?
This was 83 Society though. They still had some kind of hope.
I think they saw some future, Marty. It was the beginning of the end of the 80s.
Shining city on a hill and all that shit.
Listen. I mean,
as I choked to death. Water is no good for you. I'll tell you.
No.
Never
Whiskey.
choke on whiskey.
Yeah. Hashtag never choke on whiskey.
Whiskey never goes down the wrong pipe.
I want to see more of the character though. I think sequels would be good.
I think you need something. Yeah, a little. I would, like I said, I'd even go prequel. Find out what him and Duke were doing
Maybe.
up in
Yeah.
Nam.
There you go.
He had to be in Nam. Probably he's
Probably,
83.
yeah.
He seemed like a 40-year-old, 50-year-old guy in this one. So
probably did some
just stretch.
would explain. Emmy. So let's see. Some surprises. I mean, there's some shows that I had no idea.
Just don't know. Like that's the problem with the Emmys
comedy.
now.
The best comedy was the show. I guess is on Netflix.
Yeah, the Miss Maisel.
I've never
Marvelous
heard of it.
Miss Maisel. I'd heard of it. I know I heard it's good, but I've just never seen it.
Never heard of it. Never.
And that's the thing with the Emmys now. People say, people don't want to watch awards. It's just that back in the day, you knew it was gonna, it was all the 5 shows people watched, and you were gonna find out which one's the best. This is just randomly picking shows that are on different streaming networks, and
it's tough, man.
Some people don't have those streaming networks, or they haven't watched it, or whatever. Like I said, you haven't even heard of it.
I never even heard of it.
It's like, so how are you choosing between all these fucking different things that have picked out the 5 best? And then I don't think any network shows won.
Network.
Like, and you used to have, they would throw one to This Is Us or
Big Bang Theory.
Modern Family won for a while.
Yeah.
Modern Family went from winning like 5 years in a row to I don't even think they were nominated this year.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
And the comedies were Marvelous Miss Maisel, Atlanta, which I don't know, it's just not really a comedy for me. I mean, it's funny in points, I know, but it's more serious than anything else. And Barry, to an extent, is not straight comedy either.
Right. I know. Yeah, I put that more in a drama in a way.
You have Glow, the women's wrestling show.
Netflix. Right.
Yeah. Netflix, Silicon Valley, HBO, Curb, HBO, Barry, HBO. I mean, if we're counting Blackish, was a network show, but didn't win anything.
Yeah. Blackish.
And Atlanta's FX, which is, on cable, but still.
Did you see the what's going on with Blackish, by the way?
Yeah, the guy left.
One of their episodes just kind of got...
Yeah, they had a whole episode based on... Well... I don't know if it was the kneeling thing or the cop.
Yeah, it was the kneeling.
Might have been the cops shooting and the kneeling.
It was all
I'm sure it got all. Yeah.
I saw the episode. I saw it aired once.
I thought it didn't air at all.
Really?
They edited the shit out of it. I think.
I think they edited it.
Yeah.
Because I remember that. I remember, unless I'm just confusing episodes. I think it aired once.
Yeah, and I think they didn't get to do what they wanted to do with it after they were told they were going to be able to do whatever they wanted with it. And then the guy just said, fucking move to... Was it Netflix or was it Amazon? I forget which one it was.
I think it's Netflix.
Yeah. Another weird thing in that, too, I think that Henry what's that guy's name?
Anderson. Yeah.
I think like him and the wife on that show don't get along in real life or some shit. It's pretty fun. And I mean, that's another... It's ABC, but they pushed the limits a little bit.
Yeah. That's a tough show. To be on the network.
Yeah, but I mean, if you move it to FX or something like that, then you're gonna start getting over the top, maybe drama, throwing cursing and shit like that. Yeah. Sometimes you need to be able to push the limits a little bit to make it edgy.
I think that's a problem, though. It's a show that's kind of stuck in limbo because it shouldn't be an FX show, but in many ways it shouldn't. It's definitely shouldn't be like a HBO show.
But it maybe shouldn't follow Modern Family.
Yeah, right.
Like maybe a Fox show back in the day, but now Fox doesn't even do it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so about comedy won only 2 shows. There was Barry won for Hader and Winkler, and then Miss Maisel won for lead actress, director, and show. Mm-hmm. So Barry we enjoyed. We haven't watched Maisel. Nice. Game of Thrones, I'm surprised it's still allowed to be in these award shows because it's so much its own thing at this point. It's not almost not fair to judge it against other shows.
Well, it did win best drama though, right?
Won best drama.
It did win best drama. Oh, I saw Dinklage won, right? Again.
Dinklage won for best supporting again.
Which
and then,
I gotta start questioning that.
I'm not sure.
He's good, but his character is just nothing anymore. I mean, he's good. He's a great actor, but his character on the show is like.
Yeah, he was up against the guy who plays Jamie, who was really good this year, I thought.
Yeah.
And then there's 4 other shows I just don't watch. I couldn't tell you. The guy from *Handmaid's Tale*.
Yeah, I don't watch that.
Joseph Fiennes, David Harbour from Stranger Things,
I
which
did
I
that.
know.
Yeah, listen, it's a pretty good show, but yeah.
Mandy Patinkin from Homeland, which I never got into.
Right.
And then Matt Smith from The Crown, which
I don't watch that.
another one I never watched. Supporting actor, the one you liked, Thandie Newton from Westworld.
Yeah, yep, she's good. She's good.
So,
She's very good.
but I don't think that show really got nominated for anything else.
No.
So it was odd.
Yeah, I was, maybe next year. I want to see Hank Azaria get nominated for Brockmire.
But then again, that's another thing. Like, what show that's on?
That is on IFC.
IFC, like that's well, they get some nominations. I think Portlandia gets nominated.
Portlandia's gotten some nominations, and then was it Maron? Mark Maron, I think he's got nominated before. I think for his show. But it's like so it's not completely in limbo, and
like half the FX shows still never get noticed, so it's hard to start going into. But like for a while, it was AMC. Everything AMC did got nominated, which is still almost kind of the case with Better Call Saul still gets nominated. I don't think Walking Dead ever really got much.
I just don't understand TV scheduling anymore. I guess because I mean, like Game of Thrones can't be nominated next year because there is no Game of Thrones this year.
No, but it's
Better Call Saul skips months around where sometimes it starts in February, sometimes it starts in like June.
And it's going to be crazy in that the Oscars will again be next year and I guess late September, and then it'll be when Game of Thrones I think will just Emmys. I'm sorry. And then Game of Thrones will just finish. That's all we're going to be talking about is Game of Thrones on television. And we're going to have to wait another year for them to win all the awards.
Right. Yeah. But
so they might have to change. You know, we keep talking about how the Oscars need to change, and this is the first time the Emmys are on a Monday for some reason. I don't even know why that was.
Listen, man, because he's not going to get ratings on a Sunday against Sunday Night Football. So
they tried to make the whole show like a long SNL skit, and it fell flat most of the time. You had Colin Jost and Michael Che, the guys who do Weekend Update hosting, and they just felt out of place. You need, like, when you're hosting, you don't need Billy Crystal perhaps anymore, but you still need somebody with some excitement. You can't just have two just reactionary comics the entire time doing, they didn't do crazy. It wasn't even so much the Me Too stuff anymore, the Trump jokes. It wasn't that, much on that level.
The problem is the people that I would want to host these, they would never do. Like, Conan O'Brien, I think, would be a hell of a host on one of these shows.
I'm sure he's done a few.
John Oliver. I would love to see John Oliver.
Yeah. He'll probably be in line for one soon. He won.
He did, again. Yeah. Which he likes to remind a certain person who never won for The Apprentice that he's won several of these.
It's crazily enough still probably sticks in his craw. I mean, he probably still cares about that shit.
Listen, man. It still sticks in his craw that he never owned an NFL team.
Never owned the Bills. That UCF didn't get off the ground over the fuck of what he
won a lawsuit for $1. I mean,
he's probably going to get really big into that. The new XFL. If he's still president when the XFL or the AAA whatever F gets going, you'll see him at fucking games being a real saluting the flag and shit like that. That's fucking cunt.
That's Mr. President cunt to you. All right.
Oh, yes. I still don't capitalize his name, even in text form.
That's Toad from Mario Kart, president to you.
Oh, I saw that trending on Twitter. So I was like, oh, no. What happened? Like, this can't be good. I know they're coming back with the old Nintendo and shit games every once in a while, but it's like, there's no way this is a happy story.
Oh, my God. And do you remember the normal times where we were just talking about hand size for a while? I mean, that was normal for us.
He did bring up in a presidential debate. I always wonder, we spend too much time going over the if Obama did this, argument because it clearly doesn't matter. But if the black president ever came out talking about his dick size, I don't think anyway. Somehow, I don't think it would have went over as well with the Middle America folk.
What else? Emmys? Anything else of note?
The other show we talked about a lot, which I'm not sure if we even loved that much, but we watched it all the way through, was the Versace.
I did. No, I really did. I really enjoyed the Versace show.
I think we agreed it wasn't as good as the OJ one. But it was still...
No, I did really enjoy it. I think the actor in it, well deserved of the.
As well.
And I love Two other guys got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, right? It was
Yeah.
what's his
The
name?
guys who killed
The singer.
and
Um,
yeah, Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin. And then what's his name? Flynn.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. Something Rock. Like it's like I want to say Flint Rock. You know, like it's like some Flintstone character.
It was Ricky Martin and Edgar Ramirez were nominated, and Finn Wittrock.
Wittrock.
It was the guy who played Versace. Ricky Martin was his lover, and then Finn Wittrock was one of the kids that got killed.
He's a great actor.
None of them won, but
he's a fantastic actor, though. I love that guy. He's in quite a few American Horror Story seasons. He's really good.
That one went to Jeff Daniels and Godless, which I couldn't tell you what that is. I mean, I saw through the highlights when they were talking that it's some kind of a Western.
Sounds about right.
And then, Jeff Daniels, he's great and everything. He was in The Looming Tower, which I really liked. And then, for some reason, John Leguizamo got nominated for Waco.
He was good. Listen,
he was all right, but
he was only like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Did the main guy get nominated for Waco?
No.
Really? He was really good.
Like, yeah, so many people were better than him in Waco. It's just like randomly to get one random nomination for.
You look at that dude in Waco versus his run on True Detective, and you don't tell me that this dude's a fantastic actor.
Yeah. Just to show you how bad the writing was on True Detective too.
You looking forward to the next season? I kind of am. Listen,
it looks like with the guy from Muhammad Ali, whatever it was. Not Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali. Yeah.
I'm very bad with names.
He was in what movie are we talking about though? Not Hidden Figures, right? It was
no, the one that he wasn't Hidden Figures.
He wasn't Hidden Figures. Yeah. He was, yeah.
But that's not what he was.
No,
that's not what he won for. It was God damn it! The one fucking beat. There was the infamous beaten out
Oscar, right?
Yeah.
They got swapped. The switch doctor Oscar, right? Yeah. Marshala Ali or something.
Yeah, Moonlight.
Yeah, Moonlight. Yeah. Yeah.
He was also great in House of Cards, which I'm not sure if he's going to be back for the non-spacey version, which starts soon.
I never watched House of Cards. Yeah.
It was really good for like 2 seasons, and then it just got batshit insane. So when they said like he was leaving, I was like, all right, maybe that show can just go away. Now they're going to come back, and everyone's going to have to watch it because, to support Robin Wright Penn and everything. But I don't know. It just looked awful. They were just doing so much crazy shit towards the end, fucking killing off people for fun and starting wars to win elections.
I'm just waiting for Kevin Spacey to show up and start doing his 1-hour comedy routine at random.
Yeah, he'll show up at the Cellar. Yeah. Does that? I tried to get worked up over that. I don't know what the answer is there, but we talked about it for a while when we were talking about it. It was like one a week. Someone was going down for this shit, and we thought maybe guys like CK could come back the easiest, but to just show up at the Cellar one day and not kind of mention what happened or just
it was a little too soon for him. I think
not even too soon, but just
maybe too soon.
Maybe tone deaf. I don't know.
Both, especially because the set wasn't really. It was kind of insexual of nature too. Had some questionable stuff in there.
Yeah, I think. I mean, the odd thing too now is like there's no Oprah anymore, so there's nowhere to go to kind of do the mea culpa interviews anymore. Like Norm Macdonald tried to do it last week on The View, and it just went horribly. It's funny. He did. It was a whole controversy where he slightly defended Roseanne and Louis C.K. And then Tonight Show canceled on him. He went on Stern the next morning, and I listened to the whole thing. And I could see, like, this is, he was, like, if you listen to the whole thing on Stern, you got the idea it was fine. But, like, you could tell people are going to pull clips out of this, and it's just going to get worse and worse. Mm-hmm. He did a thing where he doesn't want to say that, retarded anymore, so he said Down syndrome. And I was like, you're not helping. So then the next day he's answering questions about why he used that. But I mean, we have to get to a place where we're not the people saying slightly nice things about the bad people are getting the same punishment as the bad people. I think there's got to be a medium somewhere in there.
Well, listen, we're at a point in time where the person that withholds information about a potential a sexual assault from a judge gets criticized more than the judge that potentially sexually assaulted someone.
That's not even new. That's fucking old school, actually. We grew up on that one back in what was that, 91?
Is that Anita Hill anyone?
Anita Hill, 91. She's got a resurgence. She's back out there now in the news.
No, did you see? She did a great interview on John Oliver.
Yeah, that
a month
was
or
very
so ago.
Yeah. And then she was on the. They interviewed her for this a couple times. Mm-hmm. Seems like she recovered from it, but not not without some scars. And then we can just go into politics for the last, I guess, 15 minutes. But I can give a fuck if they just set the place on fire to not get the vote. The rules are out. The rules went out the window. So.
Well, when you just refuse to vote on...
When you refuse to vote, you don't get to clutch your pearls for anything anymore. I don't care if he even knew the girl. I don't care. I don't care if this girl didn't even go to that high school.
I loved it when all this came about too. And it's like, there's a couple of Democrats like, listen, we know the right thing to do. You just got to give Garland the nomination, Trump. I mean, you got to do it. I mean, that's the right thing to do. Put them up for a vote. See what happens.
It's now, every vote now is going to be 52-48, or whatever the fuck it works out to. One person won't vote. It'll be 51-40, 50-49, and that's how everything's going to get passed anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it was Ruth Bader Ginsburg who we need to just keep on in a bubble somewhere. Was like, if we want things to go back to where they were, it's like it's just not going to happen ever again. So
yeah, the danger of Ruth Bader Ginsburg too is we have to get through what 2 years, 2 more years, 2.5 years. But that's what I'm saying, right? But if it's 6.5 years,
no way. I mean, everyone. I mean, I think you can't get through 6.5 years without just a random person dying. It doesn't have to be the oldest person.
Right.
Clarence Thomas can't be eaten that well.
Listen, man, I'm looking at Roberts. Roberts might just have a heart attack having to deal with all this madness.
That guy was like the one normal thing Bush did, putting that guy in there.
Yeah, right. And that's a funny thing too. Is Bush was a very big fan of this Kavanaugh guy. Like, he even came out and then defended him recently. And it's crazy that I'm looking at W as a moral compass. This is where we're at in this country now, Marty. That I'm fondly remembering George W. Bush as a president, and saying, he's a logical person. Like, I have to trust him to a degree. This is where I've come, Marty. Now, listen, I know you were a W supporter.
I was, but I can look back and know things went wrong horribly. But you'll say one thing about W. He every bad decision was made with good intention, I'll say.
It's a fair point. I mean,
maybe not everyone that was around him's good intention, but I think at least his. This guy, every
president makes decisions to make their friends rich. Because if you make your friends rich, then you have enough money to run for your next election. Every president does something to help out their friends and make their friends rich. When W authorized the invasion of Iraq, Halliburton made a shitload of money. A lot of people made a lot of money, right? He made his friends rich. He won re-election, right? If you don't make your friends rich and you're president, you're not getting re-elected. You know who didn't make their friend? Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter didn't make anybody rich.
Did not make anyone rich.
Or especially himself.
No one. He made no money.
And he's probably the most honorable guy still going.
He really is. I love that guy. My God.
He can get out there every day and just talk shit on somebody. What?
He builds houses.
Yeah.
He's out there building houses. He's literally building. He's not giving money to build houses.
He didn't stick his name on building houses. He didn't slap his name on any one of them. So. But I mean, like, you think back, even like the great liberal giant, Kennedy gave his brother AG job, whatever. Bill Clinton, and Kennedy both fucked everything that moved around them. Obama, even people around him weren't the greatest of the bunch, but he was,
There's a lot of stuff that happened with him,
yeah.
but there's a lot of things that I know that it was a culmination of a lot of the deregulation and stuff that that W put in place, and even Clinton had in place. Finally, kind of like caught up and snowballed. But I mean, the wiretapping stuff and
Oh, yeah.
every precedent.
Thinks they're doing it for the right reason, but you go one
Right.
step too further.
Every president until now, I think,
Yeah.
thinks they're doing it for the right reason.
And every president, I guess, was working under the assumption that we're never going to have someone in the office that's so completely untrustworthy that we couldn't survive it. But no, I don't know.
I think that's that's the interesting thing too. Is I mean, you align yourselves with conservatives for a good portion of your life, right? I mean, I look at you as a win in a way, right? Because
most of my family didn't, but thank you.
But no, I'm just saying it just shows that and even if it was vice versa, right? Even if it was you were a liberal and you went to conservative, I think it just shows that people can have conversations and they can change and they can learn new things and they can reframe and understand positions that they might have thought one way, and they can get knowledge and they can change their opinions on it, right? And that's hopeful to me, right? That's because that's the biggest challenge right now is you feel like you're having conversations and they're going nowhere, right? Yeah. And I think there's younger people that might align themselves with conservative or Republicans because their parents do, and then they go to college, and maybe they go to an urban university, and they actually meet people that it's like, wait a minute, my parents say that you're terrible, and they learn otherwise, and maybe they start to see things in a different way.
I still think we've given up. There's been so many times I think, well, the younger people will make it better, and then it's just the people who are in now were younger in the '70s, and they've made it shittier. We were younger in the '80s, and we're not fucking no prizes here. So, we are. You have a couple coming up the pipe, and hopefully they seem like they'll be good people, but. Oh. I don't have much trust for anybody, in red states anymore changing shit. Because I voted, for Bush a couple of times, and I voted for. I don't think I ever even voted Republican for governor, actually. Mm. But I was never a social conservative. Like I never was anti anything on that level. That was just kind of. Me and Eddie talked one time. With I think almost so much of it was just me and him just wanting to fight off you, Mike, and Darren all the time. So just we disagreed just to disagree with you sometimes, and you just kind of, all right, I'll just go with it then. and then one day you wake up and say, I can't vote for Sarah Palin. What the fuck? You watch enough Hannity, be like, well, I can't be on this fucking guy's side. What? Jesus Christ. So yeah, I've been Democrat, I guess, since 06 or 07.
Yeah. But again, I think one of the big problems, and years ago, the thought of like, you have kids, right? And you're like you're a Democrat, and you're like, if my kid marries a Republican, it's not the end of the world. Like years ago.
Years ago.
Sure. That's what I'm saying. Years ago. But
even I would say in the 60s and 70s, people probably didn't want that either,
I think there was a poll recently done or something like that back when they did did this in like the 60s or 70s or something like that, only 5% resisted if their kid married someone from the opposite political party, and now it's like 80%. It's ridiculous. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine being with someone that didn't align with my at least the majority of my especially social
there's something about healthy discourse and healthy
right.
Disagreements, but like my wife would have left if I voted Trump.
Dude, I would have left.
Not even a question.
Marty. Martin, I don't. Listen, I mean, well, your family would still talk to you.
Yes, there's a wing that would still enjoy my company.
There's that.
And I've gotten better as far as that. When it first happened, I go back and watch our Doctor Strange review. I've gotten better at kind of compartmentalizing.
Harnessing that. Yeah.
But it's like sometimes you go on Facebook and it's like, oh, I just want to fight right now. So you have to kind of just go, turn it off.
It's pretty brutal.
So you just you talk sports and you just gossip about the other people in the family, and then you get through.
Yeah, again, like I have some family too that I haven't discussed it with them, but I know that they voted for Trump, and I will not. I won't bring it up. No. I'm on fragile terms with them as it is anyway. So,
and even like when it's just no point. Like you said, there's no point to bring it up anymore because
it's not.
What do you say?
It goes nowhere. And I mean, it's. You have a president who will just attack the media and say that they're lying, and he'll do interviews where it's like, well, how can you say the media is lying? It's like, because if you say bad things about me, I want people to not trust you.
Yeah.
Well, listen, that's brilliant.
Sure, and it works.
Brilliant. It does, and it does work, and it does work for 49% of the country.
That's where it's like Tom Arnold at the start of the show on Vice TV, like searching for Donald Trump tapes. Like, go, what are you gonna find?
Didn't he get like assaulted?
That's what they said. Robert,
the guy from
Robert Burnett attacked him at an Emmy party or something. I'm sure Tom Arnold's part is bullshitting. But he did it. His first episode was about finding all the tapes on Stern, and he goes to Howard Stern show. It's like, you gotta give me all the tapes. I was like, what tapes? It was on the air. There were no secret recordings of Trump. Trump has been on television saying batshit things since the mid-'80s. You tell me because the tape comes out him using the N-word, it's going to change somebody's mind? It's just, no one's going to give a shit. No one that doesn't already know he said it. The people who would be hurt by that know he said it already. So what is the point?
Yeah.
And to us, him saying not born here was the same thing as him saying, yeah, we knew the code. We hated him for the code. The other people knew the code and liked him for that code. So you think a tape of him saying the actual word is going to somehow swing Alabama in the Democrats' favor? It's like, come on.
It's Alabama who was that's Doug Jones' country.
That is, I mean, they wouldn't.
They struggled with having
he only got
Democrat
48. He only got the pedophile only got 48%. So, and that was a victory for humanity.
It was. Listen, I woke up the next day when I found out, and I swear I said to Aaron, I'm like, my faith in humanity has slightly been restored. Like if this dude would have won, I don't know. I don't know if I like.
I would have cared. I would have been a little happier if it was not like razor thin margined.
Well, I agree.
The fact that
I agree.
There were people that still didn't care. The fact that people are voting because we didn't do the Netflix abortion documentary because we were getting it too upset. But people just want that overturned, so they'll vote. They'll put the judge up there who might have, God knows how he even got nominated for the seat. No one knows really. He came out of nowhere almost. He might have, almost raped a woman. No one knows, and no one's gonna know it. She can say it. He can say it. What are you gonna do? I mean, there's no tape. There's no Ray Rice in the elevator on this one. So you're either gonna deem to care or not. And like I said, me and you are gonna care because we were looking for any reason not to have him on there, and people voted for a president who did much worse than this guy is claimed to have done in 1960 something. So it's not going to change anybody's vote on the Senate. He's going to get elected because they want to overturn abortion. They want to overturn these things. But
do they? But because here's the thing: do they like
not all, that will ever happen? But they keep getting sold on that degree.
Exactly,
so.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Like anyone who believes any of this stuff is being fooled because they're being robbed from behind, like they're being pickpocketed by these fucking thieves, and that's all this is. It's all smoke and mirrors. Because listen, Marty, they have the Senate, they have the House, they have the presidency. Tell me, why hasn't there been mass abortions? Like why is there any Mexican still in the United States right now? Why hasn't this wall been built? Well, tell me this, Marty. Why hasn't abortion been overturned yet? Why haven't all these things happened? Because they control all three branches of the government as it is right now. Why hasn't this stuff happened? We had Democrats control, right? This stuff doesn't. It's all just an illusion. It's
it's
you know,
something. It's something to run on, and
it
he'll
is.
run on the wall again.
They will. Yep.
He'll run on the judge thing again. He'll run on, and he'll
Absolutely.
get.
Listen, man. Yeah.
You just have to swing 100,000 votes in 4 states and hope you get it that time. That's what the country is.
I mean, you know, there's gerrymandering. There's restricting people from voting down in Florida. There's all these things.
We got 50 states, 40 or so are locked at this point. That's being kind, probably 44. And it's a battle for 6 states, and then you break it down. It's like 5 counties in those 6 states. It's a fucking game. It's hilarious to watch. If it didn't, if we weren't bringing seeds into this world to have to live in it again.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. Wow, this show really devolved into madness.
You and I are alone. We just kind of ramble.
I know. I mean, at this point, like we've in my opinion, we talked about a great movie. Mandy is a great film.
If your old friend would like to pass along that link, maybe I'll give it another watch.
Yeah,
and we can come back to it. But like I said, it was very slow and just odd writing and dialogue for a while, and then this cult thing. You never really knew what they were about. They were just kind of about this one guy, and you never knew what the fuck he even did for them. It was like when he gets caught,
he's cult, really.
Yeah. But at least with the Koresh sold the goods on the a lot of things, and he had a thesis, for God's sakes, and he can play guitar, but this guy was just creepily walking around, and he burned a woman that laughed at his dick, essentially. So that's your lessons for these movies. Don't laugh at a man's dick, and don't cut Nic Cage's favorite shirt.
It's a great shirt.
It's a great shirt.
Great shirt. That was a great shirt. It's a fantastic shirt. Yeah.
Stabbing that guy in his fucking neck, just throws that line in there. And I doubt that was even in the script. I bet that was just a shirt Cage wanted to set that day. It's like, we're gonna run with this.
Love the movie. I want other people to check it out. Please do. We talked about that. We talked about some Emmys. We talked about some sports. We talked some politics. If that isn't movies and stuff, I don't know what is. That is movies and stuff in a nutshell. It's heavy stuff. Look, if you look at our logo, the stuff is actually bigger than movies.
Stuff is bigger than movies, and it's in color.
Yeah. You
All
expect
caps.
more stuff.
All caps color.
Than movies. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about with movies.
And we haven't had a very heavy stuff show in a while. We've been sticking to the movies for a while.
Yeah.
Except for an Amanda or Jamil go on a little rant every once in a while.
I love their rants.
Jamil's got great rants.
Jamil's got fantastic rants. I've been shipping them for a while of trying to get them to do a show, and I'm glad that they're doing a show, even though they no longer do ours.
And we set them to fly, and they flew away.
That's it. They don't love us anymore. But it's cool. It's cool. It's fine. Okay. All right. Let's wrap this up. I got nothing for next week. Do you have anything for next week? Is there anything?
Well, like I said, the big movies are starting to come out in October, so we know they have another week.
So there's nothing really coming out.
So we'll check the Netflix wires and the Hulus and the such. We'll come up with something.
We either come up with something or...
We haven't done a retro in a while either.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if there's a retro that can be paired with Mandy. We can watch Beyond the Black Rainbow. We can check out its first movie. If you want to rewind and check that out. So maybe we'll do that. We'll figure something out. Listen, there's so much shit, man. There's just so much stuff, man. We can just watch a whole freaking... I'm being texted to wrap up. So.
Who woke up?
No. This is unrelated to my house. So people are saying, "Come on, get on with it." You said 10. Close out at 10. So close out at 10.
It's 9:58. We always have a minute or two of banter.
I've got 1 more minute left. So we'll figure something out. There's just so much stuff. All right. Anyway, wrap up another episode of the Movie Stuff Show. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Movie Stuff Show. Please like and subscribe to this video. Mario put some
Yeah,
videos.
I'll put that Bill Duke interview
Cool.
up on the screen.
Cool.
Click on that
That's
one.
a good one. That's good. So, I guess that's it. Yeah, I'm being Skyped by other people as well.
Wow.
So, I'm a very popular person at 9:59
Very popular
on a
person.
Wednesday night. So, I'll see everyone later. Bye.